It's August something or other. I wanted to talk about a conversation that I had with a 7-year-old last night. It was an amazing conversation. Man, brilliant child. And we were on the whole discussion of spirituality, choices, or illusions of being able to choose what we want, the freedoms of making choices, and how we're manipulated into making certain choices. But I tell you what, over the past year of hanging out with this child, I've seen such a huge turnaround in her thinking capacity, in the way that she interacts, the way that she presents herself, and just how much deeper of an understanding she's been able to gain since we've taken her out of public schools, and I'm going to tell more parents this, that you want to think that you don't have a choice, that, if I take my child out of school, they're going to find me, they're going to arrest me, they're going to do this. Whose child is that? And are you having children for the state to raise? You can opt out of these things. You can not send your child to school. You can't give them a letter stating that you are the adult, you are the parent of that child, and you don't want them in the public school system anymore. With this whole thing, some schools are letting kids back with masks. Now, I'm not saying that they won't get the social interactions, because with that much more time, and if you was to opt out of your jobs and we can start forming and formulating our own means of energy, our own means of just being humans, like to where we set the standards for ourselves, and that done across the board, everyone should have a certain amount of respect for everyone else, because everyone knows everyone's rights. Everyone knows the morality that it takes to be free. And those people that don't want to be a part of that, let them go do their whole thing. I'm not here to tread on anyone. If you want that lifestyle, go have it. But you have no right to tell anyone else how to raise their children, unless they're being abusive or anything like that. And for those people, there's a certain place that they deserve to be, and there's consequences for those actions. And why we think this way, that we don't have choices, and why we think we don't have choices, and why we are constantly looking for a savior from the outside, is from, I'm going to use the term sins, us being split from reality, us being taken away from the holistic nature of the realm that we live in as humans. This is the dimension that we're in. This is how we live. And we've been manipulated for such a long time that these sins become normal, and I'm having a hard time facing this whole new normal deal. The new normal is whatever you want it to be. This is your consent, your own volunteering to make it this way. Excuse me. So, with that being all voluntary, you are choosing which way you want this world to be. And I can face the facts that this is a heaven for a Satanist right now. This world is structured and set up for Satanism, for a satanic heaven on earth. And it's not a holistic heaven on earth. It's not a holy, it's not peaceful by any means. And, I'm not so naive to say that there's going to be peace on earth all the time with everyone. That's part of our experiences as humans, to create the best world that we can create within our culture. And I'm not saying as a culture between a whole bunch of people. I'm saying your internal culture, which is just you and yourself and maybe your wife or whoever you decide to have as friends, can agree upon, and you understand other people. If we're all part of God, we're all creating this. We're co-creators to the bigger scope of things, but at the same time, we're a part of it all, and we ultimately get to choose the way that this story is going to turn out. And if we want to see big changes, we are going to have to face. I've called this something close to the withdrawal effect. And we're going to go through hard times as far as changes. It's like being on a drug. You feel so good for so long. That's the way you think. That you think that you're feeling so good for so long. And as a recovering addict, I understand. I understand this. So your body feels so good for so long by being manipulated, being lied to, as to think that this is a better feeling than being clean or not under the influence. So for all those years that you felt good, to think that you're not going to have to face all the sins of being taken away from the holistic way of being natural humans, living, breathing, flesh and blood, is an understatement. To think that we aren't going to have to face some hardships in these changes that we can make as free human beings. We might have to go without energy because you can't convince the people that are out there making big money. You can't convince them to just keep on going to work without pay, even though they wouldn't have energy bill anymore, or house payments or anything, quit making. If everybody was to quit making their house payments, even the cops and anybody that's involved in this whole false American system of the banking cartels, If everyone was to stop doing that, why would a cop come kick in your door to remove you from your house? They don't have, ultimately, they wouldn't have a job anymore either if you was to stop paying your taxes, stop paying your house payments. No, I'm not saying that it's a free-for-all as far as people can go kick other people out of their homes and stuff like that. No, what I'm saying is that we have the freedom to travel and we have the freedom to live where we want to live. And we also have the rights to protect the land that is ultimately being destroyed by bad farming practices. I'm kind of getting on a little ramble here, but I just wanted to hit on a bunch of subjects to kind of get people to meditate on these things, concentrate, and contemplate a world where we're not being destructive and good people are stopping the destruction of our planet and ultimately the destruction of our minds. We're breaking the bonds, breaking the chains of the conditioned mind. If anybody that listens to this, if you could go to Raymond Karczewski's YouTube page, I posted a video. I know I'm horrible about adding links and stuff like that because honestly, I just talk into this and I hit upload. I give it a title, a brief description, and usually the description has nothing to do with what the video is. It's just like, it's always a new moment. It's always a new moment. There's always constant new ideas, new flows through my mind and through my structure of thinking, and how can I destruct the conditions and the conditions that's been programmed into me? How can I get out of that and start being free and connect with more people that want to be free and are willing to go that mile as far as facing the consequences and and facing those fears, so we can truly advance. I know that I'm not going to come out and be the perfect one because it took me, I was 25 or 26 years old when I first started waking up, and then I would go to sleep. I would wake up and then I would go to sleep because I was constantly burying these changes and burying these feelings, these emotions of that can never happen. Well, it's full of doubt, so full of doubt. But right now, through all of this that's going on, I see opportunity for us to make these changes because these tactics, war tactics is what I think they are, as far as making you pay for water, making you pay for food, making you use this false system, these false currencies. They're illusionary. See the Satanism working in there, the lies, the deceptions of money being valuable, of having to pay for food, when if you had the time and our energy wasn't stripped away from us 8 hours a day to go give to somebody else or build someone else's houses or all of this jazz, you would have the time to grow your own garden. If we would stop having these farmers not farm for money and actually farm for nutrition and farm for people and not corporations, you would have the land to go and grow your garden, grow your nutrition, grow your uh, sustainable practices as far as us having everything that we need. There was a Rudolf Steiner lecture, and I'm going to end it after this, but he was, it was in his farming, his agriculture, and he was talking about farms, a sick farm. A sick farm is when you have to bring outside sources to make your soil better, to make your plants grow, whatever it was. That is the manufacturing of a sick farm. So nowadays, people are on all these supplements because we're sick. We're diseased humans right now. We're lack of ease. We're not thinking in our full capacity. We're not getting the nutrition we need from our foods. I mean, face the facts. 90% of it's salt and sugar. But that just goes to show you that the natural ways of being have been around here for a long, long time. And I'm pulling up here at my other garden, so I'll use that for some food for thought. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Leave a comment. I'm willing to work with anybody, private contract, with anything that we can start moving forward and progressing with. So I'll talk to y'all soon and hope to hear from you.